Hi, Shamara. Let me know when you can hear me, okay? There we go. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. Alrighty. So we have been picking an emotion each week to explore further. So I wondered if you thought of anything you would like to focus on this week.
I have not put any thought into it, but I don't know what we did. We've done love and we've
Yeah.
done um like sadness, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've done I think apologize. I know I'm missing one because we've only
Oh,
done
it's okay. Yeah, we've done a few different ones. So thinking about like different larger category emotions, we've got like happiness, sadness, fear, anger. Um, what do you think? What would maybe be a good category to
we're happy.
explore?
We're happy. Happy?
I, Last week, yeah, happy. Because last week we did love, and I feel like love can be kind of complicated too. It's not always happy. I like automatically I think of it as happy, but it's not always. So I think happy is a good one because we have a lot of nuance within these larger categories too. So happiness can be like it could be pleased, it could be ecstatic, it could be it could be elated. It could be like a sense of awe and wonder. It could be um, like that you feel cheerful or you feel humorous, you know? So a lot of different kinds of happiness too, like subtle changes. So if you think of happy characters, who are some happy
I'm so
characters?
sorry. One second, I'm gonna shut my door just because
Oh yeah, no problem.
that's
Yeah. So, when we think of characters who tend to be more happy, who's maybe the first character that comes to mind? One that's kind of like optimistic, cheerful. I think like Tigger in Winnie the Pooh is a good one who's pretty much always excited and happy. He's a good example. Can you
Annie.
think?
Annie.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. Annie, she's very optimistic, you know. She's always got this outlook like everything's going to be okay. Tomorrow's going to be better than today. Even though things aren't always going well, she's so hopeful, and keeps that attitude of like it's going to get better. I just know it. So I think she's a good example too. Yeah. Um,
Pollyanna, like the book.
Pollyanna, I love that. Yes, that's a perfect example where she's just like cheerful all the time and like going around helping people, volunteering and encouraging people all the time. She's a great example. Yeah, I love that. So got some good ideas there for those more happy characters. Um, so let's see. Why don't we do, mm, let's see. How about, all right. So thinking about for Annie, this is like when she first gets to the house, basically. She's just moved in and she's like, wow, look at this place. My new home. She's like, I got a bed, I got a roof, I got the best dog ever. So I think she's probably just moved in. Maybe she's talking to like the lady that welcomes her and is kind of like, all right, I'll be taking care of you, kind of, who's her new like adoptive dad's like. here you go, take care of Annie. That I forget her name, but like maybe she's talking to her, or it could be like somebody who's like in her room, like a maid who's helping her like unpack or something, and just like talking to her about all the good stuff going on.
Okay. So just go for it,
Yeah, let's just
or,
try it.
or should I just read through it? Let me see. We can.
Oh yeah, if it helps, you can like just take a minute and look through it, kind of process what you want to do with it, and then we'll try just giving it a read through.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like this could go several ways. I mean, it could be fast and just excited, or it could just be kind of like, you know how little kids are. I don't know.
Sure. Well, why don't we try the first one? Let's try really fast and excited, like you're so pumped up about being here. Maybe you're like jumping on the bed.
Gee, isn't this the best day ever? I mean, look at this place. I used to think I'd always be stuck in that old orphanage with Miss Hannigan yelling all the time. But now, look at me. I've got a bed that's just mine, a roof over my head, and oh, did you see Sandy? He's the cutest dog in the whole wide world. And I know maybe I don't have a family yet, but I've got friends. And Mr. Warbucks is real nice. Life's pretty great when you think about it, don't you think?
Nice. Awesome. Good. All right. Excellent. So then let's try then like maybe it's like you're getting tucked in to go to sleep. You're kind of sleepy, but you're like, wow, today was such a good day, wasn't it? And it's like you're sleepy, but you're thinking about all the good stuff going on.
Gee, isn't this the best day ever? I mean, look at this place. I used to think I'd always be stuck in that old orphanage with Miss Hannigan yelling all the time. But now, look at me. I've got a bed that's just mine, roof over my head, and did you see Sandy? He is the cutest dog in the whole wide world. And I know maybe I don't have a family yet, but I've got friends. And Mr. Warbucks is real nice. Life's pretty great when you think about it, don't you think?
Nice. Yeah, good. All right. So then what about how about if one of your friends from the orphanage comes to visit you and you're like showing them around, and you're like, look at this place, isn't it great?
Okay. Gee, isn't this the best day ever? I mean, look at this place. I used to think I'd always be stuck in that old orphanage with Miss Hannigan yelling all the time. But now, look at me. I've got a bed that's just mine, roof over my head, and did you see Sandy? He's the cutest dog in the whole wide world. And I know maybe I don't have a family yet, but I've got friends. And Mr. Warbucks is real nice. Life's pretty great when you think about it, don't you think?
Nice. That's great. All right. So then, um, good. Which one did you like best and why?
I think I liked the last one the best. I don't know, felt more natural. I think I ended up kind of using a combination of every of the other the two I did previously. So it's probably I just liked it better because I felt more comfortable with the word.
Yeah, good. So then, if you were gonna maybe try to make her sound a little more youthful, what do you think we could do to make this character sound a little bit younger? Um, like maybe more high pitched. Maybe her diction could be a little less perfect. Um, we could make her sound maybe a little bit more whimsical. What do you think are some things that would make her sound more youthful?
I mean, all of the things that you just listed, maybe a list or like, all the little things that little kids, have. Um, yeah, maybe, yeah, just don't form the words so perfectly.
Yeah, good. Let's try it one more time and try to make her sound really young.
No, I'm not good at these voices. Um, all right. Gee, isn't this the best day ever? I mean, look at this place. I used to think I'd always be stuck in that old orphanage with Miss Hannigan yelling all the time. But now, look at me. I've got a bed that's just mine, a roof over my head, and oh, did you see Sandy? He's the cutest dog in the whole wide world. And I know, I mean, maybe I don't have a family yet, but I've got friends. And Mr. Warbucks is real nice. Life's pretty great when you think about it, don't you think?
Yeah, nice. I think that came across great. What did you think
It's
of it?
nice.
Yeah, like it definitely sounded like a character. Like it didn't sound like your normal self at all, which is good. That's awesome.
All right. I'm trying over here.
Yeah, that was great. I loved it. Very good. Yeah, sometimes stretching yourself, going a little outside of your comfort zone can be really good. That was great. Okay, so then we have a Pollyanna monologue. Alrighty, so we're gonna take a look here. Go ahead and just do a silent read through. It seems like she's talking about the Glad game, um, and basically teaching someone else how to play. So it could be like maybe she's sitting around with the ladies from the house and they're all doing the like pea pods and like getting the peas out of the pea pods and they're like out in the yard, cutting green beans and stuff and because there's that scene where they're like out there getting veggies like prepared for meals and stuff. And she's like telling them all about the Glad game, or it could be like you're walking with the lady that you go to, volunteer stuff with and taking food and stuff to the needy, and I'm explaining to her the Glad game. So like basically it seems like teaching them how to play. You're like, hey guys, let's play the Glad game. It'll be fun, and maybe they're like, what? What's that?
Oh, I know some folks thinks it's silly to always be glad, but I think it's wonderful. You see, when my papa was still here, he taught me the glad game. It's simple, really. You just look for something to be glad about in every single situation. Like take crutches, for example. If you don't need them, you can be glad about that. And if you do, well, you can be glad you've got them to help you walk. That's the thing about life. There's always something to be glad about, even when it seems like there isn't. I think it makes the sad parts feel not so bad. And the happy parts, oh, they feel even better.
Nice. Yeah, good. Good. So I feel like we're definitely getting that feeling of like encouragement coming across where she's like, "Hey, you can do it." That's definitely coming through. Um it also has, that element of like, "Here, let me teach you," and like instructing them. Um and then I feel like it's also kind of like comforting at times too, like when you're talking about, yeah, like sometimes life is sad. But we can make it better, by doing this. So I feel like a lot of good nuance coming through already. So then, so what do you think you could be responding to? Like, what could be a first, like a line that you're reacting to that someone else says, like,
Maybe
Why
like
would you always be happy? Like, the world is full of hard things and like, I mean, I feel like it's just silly to go around smiling all the time. Like, what if you don't have anything to smile about? Like, so think of a line that you could react to. Like, why would you always be like,
glad. Yeah.
gosh, like all you do is go around smiling. Why would you do that? And then she's like, oh, you know. So maybe the one maid in the house who's like really grumpy and she's just like all the time. It's just like grumbling around the house, right? And the cook's like, don't mind her, right? But there's that one maid in the house who's really ornery and just off by herself being grumpy. So maybe she could be like, well, I think it's just silly to go around smiling all the time. Like you have something to smile about, and then this is what you react to. So how would you feel when she first said that to you? If you were like trying to be nice and she's like, well, I think you're just a silly little girl going around smiling all the time. How would you feel about that? So, I mean, I think I would probably be a little taken aback, like, oh, well, I know that some folks think it's silly, but I think it's wonderful. Like, to trying to
Convince them.
like a little more trepidation at the beginning, like, oh, well, but then maybe she seems like she's listening. So you're like, so here, I'll teach you a little bit. And by the end, it's like more understanding, but like, sweet. So it can have a little bit of a different approach then if she, starts it by being snarky and like, you silly little girl, grumping at you. So let's try it like you're talking to that lady.
Oh, I know some folks think it's silly to always be glad, but I think it's wonderful. You see, when my papa was still here, he taught me the glad game. It's simple, really. You just look for something to be glad about in every single situation. Like, take crutches, for example. If you don't need them, you can be glad about that. And if you do well, you can be glad you've got them to help you walk. That's the thing about life. There's always something to be glad about, even when it seems like there isn't. I think it makes the sad parts feel not so bad. And the happy parts, oh, they feel even better.
Nice. Good. All right. Yeah. So it feels totally different, like a completely different mood to me when you have that person in mind that you're talking to. So what if we tried it like, hmm, how about the quirky lady who's like, oh, I'm so frail and I'm in bed all the time and I can't walk. Help me, child. And then you're like hanging the prisms in her room and like cheering her up. And she's like, I still think it's strange how cheerful you are all the time, but I guess those rainbows sure are pretty. And then you're talking to her more. So, like, she's really quirky and, you're there to help her. So, a little bit of a different approach then. Let's try that.
Okay. Oh, I know some folks thinks it's I'm sorry. Oh, I know some folks think it's silly to always be glad, but I think it's wonderful. You see, when my papa was still here, he taught me the glad game. And it's simple, really. You just look for something to be glad about in every single situation. Like, take crutches, for example. If you don't need them, you can be glad about that. And if you do well, you can be glad you've got them to help you walk. That's the thing about life. There's always something to be glad about, even when it seems like there isn't. I think it makes the sad parts feel not so bad. And the happy parts, oh, they feel even better.
Nice. Yeah, I really like that. Yeah. So we've got a few different takes there. I kind of like, I think the last one the best because it's like, there's some nuance and it's not just like straight up like, oh, I'm walking with my friend and we're chattering. And it's also like not like, oh gosh, like this lady really doesn't like me and this is just painful the whole time. But it's like a little more nuanced because yeah, she's like a grumpy lady who thinks she's an invalid and is like always sharp-tongued with everybody. But then also like she has these moments where she's like, tell me more. Or like, help me with this. All right, I'll do that. Like so she's somebody that can kind of give and take a little bit more. So I feel like that's a really fun approach to it. Really nice. Good. All right, so I have another where this person just got a really good performance review at work and they're really excited about it. Um, and they're just like sharing that they had a really good review today.
It's exactly
And
what
they're
I'm
just
going
like
through.
all excited about it. And they're like, oh, all these things that could happen. Like maybe I'll get a promotion, maybe I'll get a bonus, maybe I'll take a vacation, like all these fun things. So they're really excited about getting this good feedback. Maybe they've been working really hard and maybe their last performance review wasn't so great. So this one is really exciting because they're like, oh, heck yeah, I worked hard for this. And, now it's paying off. So let's go ahead and try this one.
You won't believe what just happened. I had my performance review today. And get this, my manager said that I have been doing an outstanding job. Outstanding. I mean, I've been working so hard, staying late, taking on extra projects, and really trying to prove myself. Hearing those words, like everything I've been doing is finally paying off. And she didn't just stop there. She hinted there might be a promotion coming soon. Can you imagine? A promotion! Ah, and okay, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but what if there's a bonus too? I could finally start that vacation fund or maybe even take that trip I've been dreaming about. More than anything, I just, it's just exciting to feel seen, you know? I messed up the end, but
Oh, that's awesome. I loved how excited you were. I liked the laughing. I really liked that it was like surprise kind of a vibe. Like I felt like you just like, texted your girlfriends and were like, guys, I have some good news. We gotta like meet at our favorite place and get a drink together so I can share. And so, it's like your hype crowd, you got all your best girl pals there and they're gonna be excited for you and they're gonna be like, heck yeah, let's start planning a fun vacation for us all to take together. Who's free in August? So yeah, so I love that it's like exactly who you're talking to. This is something you've really been working hard for, and you're just like, oh my gosh, finally they see, and I'm like getting that acknowledgement. And so, that's a really satisfying feeling. That's awesome. And I loved like the changing shifting sort of tactics and things because like when you asked a question it really felt like you were asking them a question. I definitely could hear the exclamation points in there. Nice. So and I feel like you had moments that were more like in your face like woo, and then you had moments that were like a little more vulnerable, even like that last moment. Like more than anything it's just exciting to feel seen, like that to me feels a little more vulnerable. So I really liked I really like those shifts and changes throughout too. It had such good energy. What did you like best about it?
I felt like this one really resonated with me because we are going through promotion season at work.
Oh, that's great.
So I was just imagining being like, one of my people, and basically what they're going through right now. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so you were like, ah,
Yeah.
I know exactly what to do with this one. Oh, that's awesome. Because I felt like you just nailed it like from the get-go. So that is really helpful when you're like, I have life experience that just ties right in. And you go, Psh, I know exactly what I do here. That's awesome. I love that. That's great. Well, it worked beautifully. Love it. The next one I feel like is pretty similar. So this one is like you graduated. So yeah, I don't know. Like maybe you could be, I don't know, like maybe your family took you to dinner and like your grandpa or your dad or your sister or someone's like, "How does it feel?" And this is you like sharing. You're just like, "Wow, I did it, guys." Whew, that was a lot of hard work, you know? And so that feeling of like relief that it's over, being really proud of yourself, acknowledging how far you've come, and looking at the future and being like, wow, like I could do anything. So I feel like it's a very hopeful kind of place, but appreciating where you're at. Um, so yeah, why don't we try this one? Because it's a little bit different.
I did it. I can't believe it. I actually did it. All the late nights and the early mornings, the moments that I thought I couldn't push through, they were all worth it. Standing here today, holding that diploma, it felt like the whole world opened up in front of me. It's not just about finishing school, it's about everything it represents: hard work, perseverance, all those times I thought I'd fail, but didn't. And now it's like the future is this big blank canvas just waiting for me to pick up a brush and start painting. What's next? Honestly, I'm not entirely sure, but for the first time in a long time, that doesn't scare me.
Oh, yeah, it was more like sweet and introspective. It feels more like youthful to me too. Yeah, that was really nice. Um, and just like acknowledging everything you've come through. And that like, and at the end, it's kind of complex because it's like, oh gosh, like there's a whole world out there and I really don't know what I'm gonna do next, but I'm pretty excited to find out, like where it's like, the unknown. So it's a little bit scary, but at the same time, it's like full of possibility. Um, and being like, I got through this. I can get through that too. So I really like that where um, it's like that uncertainty, but also like kind of excited about possibility. So yeah, I think that's really nice, but it feels probably a little less certain of like how to approach it because the monologue itself is kind of uncertain. So it's like she's thankful and she's celebrating and she's excited, but at the same time, there's a lot of uncertainty and kind of being okay with that uncertainty as well. So I think it is kind of a trickier one to pinpoint what exactly it is that you're trying to do with it. And maybe you just want the person you're talking to like, be like, "Hey, it's all going to be okay. You made it this far and you're going to turn out all right. Like it's going to be okay." Maybe it's more of that kind of thing, like looking to someone you love and trust to give you reassurance like that, "Hey, you did a great job and you're going to keep doing the work and it's all going to turn out all right." So maybe I kind of think maybe that kind of a thing, like you want them to give you that reassurance and like, "Hey, I have faith in you. And I'm here no matter what," kind of a thing. That I might approach it that way, kind of like where, because it does feel a little bit like you're really not totally sure what you're going to do next? So yeah, let's go ahead and try it one more time.
I did it. I can't believe it. I actually did it. All the late nights, the early mornings, the moments I thought I couldn't push through, they were all worth it. Standing there today holding that diploma, it felt like the whole world opened up in front of me. It's not just about finishing school, it's about everything it represents: hard work, perseverance. All those times I thought I'd fail, but didn't. Now it's like the future is this big blank canvas just waiting for me to pick up a brush and start painting. What's next? Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. But for the first time in a long time, that doesn't scare me.
Nice. Yeah, good. Yeah, that felt a little bit more to me like you kind of knew what you were doing with it, so kind of like a little more comfortable with it going, okay, like I'm a little more anchored in the script. So yeah, nice. Good. But I mean, I think the other way works too with the uncertainty. So I think you can kind of approach it however you want, but it seemed like you were more comfortable this time. So maybe like knowing who you were talking to and feeling that reassurance from them makes your character feel a little more secure. Um, so yeah, I think that works really well too. Let's do one more. So in this one, seems like you and your sister have lived in different countries for a while and you have missed her and you're just really excited to be reunited with her. Like like you went to like have lunch with her and you get home and you tell your husband all about it, visiting with her, and he's like, "How'd it go? Was it great to see her?" And you're like, it's a little weird because like she looks kind of different and it's been such a while, like she's different now, but like, it's really exciting to hear about everything that's happened and she's here now. I can like hug her and stuff. So it's um so maybe, like figure out who you're talking to about it, but it's like you've been reunited and you're really excited to have her, back home or whatnot.
She looks the same, but different. You know, like she's still my sister, but there's this confidence in the way she carries herself now. Living in a whole different country, she's been having these adventures, meeting new people, experiencing things I can only imagine. And now she's here, right here. I can hug her, laugh with her, talk face to face without a screen between us. It's like all the years apart just melted away in that one moment.
Nice. Yeah. I like how at the beginning it's a little like, it's kind of weird seeing her. Like it has this like attitude like, I expected it to be kind of different seeing her again, but like it's good, but she seems like a whole other person. I mean, like, where did she get this confidence and and like all these adventures she's had? Like it's so weird to hear about, like so it's like, man, this is my sister. Like, I just, it's like she's a whole new person, So, yeah, I like that. I like the approach because it changed so much. But then by the end, you're just like really excited and you're like, oh my gosh, she's here. So I really like that where um it kind of like journeys from like it was kind of weird, but it's also great, So I really like that. That's awesome. Good. So what would you say is kind of like the maybe the thing that kind of carries through a continuing thread, like a thing that you feel like is similar that you can carry through all the different ones that's like something that you do for happy characters.
Um, feel like it's similar to the others in that, like, it is really helpful to think about who the character would be saying these words to because it
Yeah.
kind of can change how you're expressing,
Yeah.
the happiness. Um,
Yeah.
context changes, depending on who,
Right.
yeah.
I like that. Yeah. So a good takeaway is like always think about who it is that you're talking to. I agree. That totally changes the attitude. So yeah, I think that's a good thought. Um, and then what's maybe something that you feel like you improved on throughout that you were like, I feel like I definitely, got better at this as you went.
Today I just decided not to care about and just like go for it the way that
Yeah.
and yeah, just
Yeah, just like not judge yourself, just get out of your head, just follow your instincts and be like, yeah, whatever happens, happens, and just kind of have fun with it. I love that. That's great. More of that. Awesome. Great work today, Shamara. That was really fun. Yeah, it was really fun exploring these characters who are all, experiencing something really positive. Sometimes I feel like if you just get bogged down in like characters who are super angry, like then you can start to feel angry and you're like, why do I feel like this? So when you get to work on a character that's just like feeling joyous, you know, it's it's just a delight. So I liked working on the different ages as well. I thought that was fun.
yeah. I realize that I do need some work on like children.
Sure, yeah. Okay.
Feel super comfortable. Like I just
Yeah.
feel whereas I feel like a
Sure.
teenager, a young person, I think I can pull that off. I think it's just
Yeah.
a little kid thing is a bit of a stretch for me, but
Okay.
it's something I would really like to get better at. I think that
Yeah. So maybe each week, we could maybe pick like at least one script to work on that's like a younger child character. Just as a good challenge.
but a torture me. I'm just kidding. I see what you're doing here. No, what did they say? You gotta, if you don't want to do it, it's probably because you should be doing it.
Oh, yeah, to stretch yourself in a new way. Yeah, absolutely. Well, the thing is, we don't have to do like a whole week of just children's voices. We could be like, all right, we're going to work on one child character, and then the rest can be grown-ups? So, stretching yourself a little bit each week. Awesome. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your week. Have a good one, and I'll see you soon.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Shamara.